Welcome students to our YouTube channel Academia Ambala. Today's topic is Physical Features of India Part 3. In our previous module, we studied about the divisions of northern mountains and characteristics of the Indian desert. Now let us begin with Part 3. In this module, we are going to study about the northern plain and the island groups of India. The northern plain, also known as the Indo-Gangetic Plain. These plains have been formed by the interplay of three major river systems, namely the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra, along with their tributaries. The northern plain, as I have told you earlier as well, that this plain has been formed due to the depositional activity of three major river systems, namely the Indus River, the Ganga River, and the Brahmaputra River, along with their tributaries. These rivers, while descending or coming down from the Himalayas, started depositing their sediments at the foothills of the Himalayas for over thousands of years and hence led to the formation of this great fertile plain. This fertile plain is formed of alluvial soil. Total area is 7 lakh square kilometer, length is 2400 kilometers and width varies from 240 to 320 kilometers. Now this plain, the northern plain, is a densely populated physiographic division because it is formed of alluvial soil, which is most fertile soil and preferred for agricultural activity. Because of these rivers along with their tributaries, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra, there is adequate water supply and the climate is also favorable here. Broad classification of northern plains. Number 1. The western part, also known as the Punjab plain. This plain is formed by the Indus River and its tributaries, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. This section of the plain is dominated by Doabs. Doab is made up of two words, Do meaning two and Ab meaning water. Similarly, Punjab is also made up of two words, Panch meaning five and Ab meaning water. The second part is the Ganga plain. It extends between the Ghaggar river and the Teesta river. It spreads over the states of North India like Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, partly Jharkhand and West Bengal to its east. In Assam lies the Brahmaputra plain. The rivers coming from the northern mountains are involved in depositional work. How? See, the life cycle of a river is divided into three stages: the youthful stage, the mature stage and the old stage. When the rivers are in the mountains, they are in the youthful stage. Because of the steep slope, the velocity is high as well as they are more involved in the erosional activity. But as soon as they enter the plain areas or in the lower course, because the slope is gentle, the velocity of the river decreases, which results in the deposition of the sediments along its course, which led to the formation of riverine islands. Majoli in the Brahmaputra river is the largest inhabited riverine islands of the world. Here in this image you can see a lot of riverine islands which has been formed due to the depositional activity of the rivers. The rivers in their lower course or in their old age, that is when they are about to meet the sea or ocean, they split into numerous channels due to the deposition of silt. These channels are known as distributaries. Here in the image you can see as well that this main river is divided into number of different channels. Here you can see. These channels have been divided because of the deposition of sediments along its way. The northern plains are generally described as flat land with no variation in its relief. It is not true. According to the variation in relief features, the northern plain can be divided into 4 regions. Number 1, Bhawar. The rivers, after descending from mountains, deposit pebbles in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 kilometers. And in this belt, all the streams they disappear. South of this belt lies the Terai. In this region, the streams they reappear and form a wet, swampy, marshy region. This is a thickly forest region with abundance of wildlife. Third, Bhangar. The largest part of the northern plain is formed of older alluvium. They lie above the floodplains of the rivers and present a terrace-like feature. Here you can see in the image, terrace-like feature, step-like feature. Khadar, the new, younger deposit of alluvium in the floodplains. They are renewed almost every year and are fertile, hence ideal for growing rice and wheat. Now, coming to the next topic of our module, that is the islands. India has two groups of islands. One lie in Bay of Bengal, named as Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The other lies in Arabian Sea, named as Lakshadweep Islands. These island groups, they lie close to the equator and experience equatorial climate and have thick forest cover. There is also a great diversity of flora and fauna in this group. These island groups are of great strategic importance for the country. Lakshadweep Islands. They are located in the Arabian Sea. Earlier they were known as Lakadweep, Minicoy and Amandeep. In 1973, these were named as Lakshadweep. This group of islands is composed of small coral islands. Coral islands are short-lived, or corals are short-lived microorganisms which live in colonies. They flourish in shallow, mud-free and warm waters. It covers a small area of 32 square kilometers. Kavaratti Island is the administrative headquarters of Lakshadweep. The Piti Island, which is uninhabited, has a port. Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They are located in the Bay of Bengal. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered as compared to Lakshadweep Islands. The entire group of islands is divided into two broad categories, the Andaman in the north and the Nicobar in the south. It is believed that these islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains. They lie close to the equator and experience equatorial climate and has thick forest cover. India's only active volcano is found on Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. The content of this module is clear to all of you. Thank you.